Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, and myself and my wife are probably, at the moment, the most trolled individuals in the OSR by, I don't know, Eric Tenkar, Horatio Jones, uh, Mario back, Mario is back, Mario 77. All of these, by the way, are sock puppet accounts of one bitch ass punk. One individual who apparently was never loved by their parental units, right? I'm trying to be politically correct. Um, and apparently believes that at this stage in their life, if I bully the anonymous methods, nobody will ever know it's me. Nobody will ever know it's me. Well, I got news for the individual in question, who I'm sure will self-identify, well, or they'll identify with me since, like, apparently their last two or three social media accounts are regarding me to Tenkar or Eric Tenkar's cousin Pat. So this individual has no actual self identity, hides behind sock puppets. The only time that they've actually threatened somebody with their face and actual words behind it happened to be a female member of this community. But no, instead, they like to hide behind sock puppets and make threats because you can't touch me because I'm on my safe zone. Listen, you bitch ass punk. All right. I got news for you before I start reading with permission from Jack McNaughton. Had a great comment yesterday. Um, you think that your inner circle is sacrosanct and you worry about traitors. Well, dude, you have more traitors than loyal followers. I'm going to put it like that because I have confirmation of, I don't have to go to just one or two or three sources. I can go to multiple sources and find out, hey, is Horatio Jones a sock puppet of this bitch ass punk? And they're like, oh yeah, that's that bitch ass punk. And oh, sometimes maybe Dave. Hey, Mario 77. Oh no, that's the bitch ass punk. Here, I'll give you a screenshot to prove it. So, um, just so Mr. Bitch Ass Punk understands, okay? If you actually want to have dare I say, a conversation, get out from behind your little weeble wobbles, your little play school fake names and fake accounts, and be a man. You pretend at being a man. Apparently, your whole life you pretended at it. Be one. Stop being a bitch ass. Well, I almost said a bad word, but a bitch ass punk. I almost said something different, and that would have been bad. So, Jack McNaughton, with permission, because I don't believe for one second that either he, should I just say bitch ass punk? Maybe I'll just say bitch ass punk, or Wenger are actually Satan worshippers. Now, this is in relation to a new social media account that popped up yesterday. It's been around since last year, but popped up with a photo of a very matronly photo of my wife Rach with Queen Slut across it, because that's what a man does. No, it's what the bitch ass punk does. So Horatio Jones, aka bitch ass punk, aka Mario 77, aka Eric Tenkar, and a few others. That's what they did yesterday. So it's amazing, right? It just blows my mind that there are individuals that still think that they are. I was going to say 12, but my niece is 11, and her maturity level is years and years beyond this bitch ass punk. So, in any case, they are both too fucking lazy to actually give a shit about anyone other than themselves. What I do believe is that he thinks by trolling places like that, he'll find a disgruntled group of young people with a lot of wasted potential, whom he can mold into disciples of hatred. Okay.
Like Charles Manson.
Like Charlie. Like Chuck. Like Chuck M, man. Like Chuck M. So, bitch ass punk isn't looking for like minded people to join in his love of Satan, because bitch ass punk only loves himself at the end of the day. Uh, Bitch ass punk is looking for weak minded people he can easily control and wind up and send off against people. He would love finding a hate filled teenager who has no problem entering our forum and swinging punches wildly at everyone on here until he's pummeled into submission. Justin would love, well, look at that, to find someone in the New York area who is angry enough that he can be wound up like again like a toy, because this is what Justin treats people as. um to go over to my house and smash my car to pieces or throw bags of flaming door crap against the side of my house at 2 a.m. By the way, these actions would likely involve somebody suffering from lead poisoning. Just an observation. um Someone to carry out Justin's weird hate-filled directives, because I'm just tired of saying bitch ass punk, until the angry loser and wannabe Satanist is himself caught by police and punished and locked away as a criminal. The problem with people like bitch ass punk, yeah, maybe I'm not too tired of saying it, is that he always suspects everyone of hating him, which is actually not too far off. He's earned it. But in any case, which is the only part of his weird psychosis which is essentially true. Notice how he doesn't say how much the fee is to join his little elite club. That's because he has no idea what to charge. And it's probably has a floating scale because he doesn't want to charge more for people he likes if he thinks they have potential to be used later on. Make a note of that, folks. The observations here are spot on. The fee is primarily to weed people out of joining his little group, as Justin himself has been weeded out of many different groups in the past year, probably his whole life. Weeded out of the military, right? Uh, Certainly not federal law enforcement agents, certainly not FBI, but
That's a delusion.
yeah, well, in any case, he only wants people desperate enough and willing to pay a $50 fee or a $100 fee or whatever. He's looking for people at the end of their rope who are willing to do anything to join. Even join a fly by night loser satanic club run by a shitty tattoo artist from North Carolina with no real standing in the Church of Satan, other than a dim understanding of it's evil. It's hip. I'm going to rebel in my 50s because that's the rebellion time. Now, this is just hypothesizing.
The
But
new midlife crisis.
yeah,
Oh.
rebellion. I'm going to buy a tank. Oh, wait, somebody already did that. Okay. Tell me somebody is not suffering from small penis fear. Um, this is just hypothesizing, but this is how I'm betting he recruited Ernie Gygax into a circle of, this is great, fucktards, wannabes, and losers. I'm betting, bitch ass punk, slithered up to Ernie and sucked up to him because Ernie's real weakness, his huge, bloated ego, and told Ernie he has a plan for reclaiming Dungeons and Dragons from Wizards of the Coast, and that the rights of D&D were illegally obtained, and that Ernie, since Gary is no longer with us, would inherit Dungeons and Dragons as a result. Ernie would have the keys to the kingdom. Justin just needed Ernie to invest in his fledgling company, TSR, and give it some financial gasoline. Ernie, believing in his heroic destiny rather than in common sense, immediately gave him 20,000 of his personal money. I've heard anywhere from 20 to 40,000, and I've heard maybe to TSR. More likely, it's to the Dutch and Hobby Shop Museum. But in any case, it's all Justin's pockets. Gave Justin 20,000 of his personal money in order to see it through, and that is why he keeps trying to strip mine D&D so aggressively. If he can get Ernie to buy this dipshit fantasy, he can get anyone to buy it, in theory. Unfortunately, bitch ass punk didn't do his research, or he discovered that Ernie is a broken old guy who has no real standing in the corporate side of the game other than wanting to play the game as a DM until he dies. But Ernie reportedly gave Justin 20,000 to chase this crazy crack house dream of being the king of D&D. And here's where we are today. Justin was convinced that if he could get the son of the original creator to hand him $20K, everyone else would as well. Ernie can't disavow Justin as being a loser because he'd sunk $20,000 into Bitch Ass Punk's weird con. And this is what it is, right? It was a quote convention that wasn't a convention, but just like trying to fleece Satanists, this is a fleecing. Personal opinion. I'm entitled to it. First Amendment goes right before the Second Amendment, right? Which I'm sure Justin is a huge fan of. I don't think he likes the First Amendment. Sorry, sir. Sorry. And if he backs out, that money is gone forever. Well, I
thought the First Amendment was only for him.
No, it only applies.
He can do what he wants.
He can.
He hears the truth.
Right. Anybody who's
and running under the sky
don't respond. Don't respond to my tweets because that's harassment and you'll get sued. Okay. I'm not responding to your tweets, you bitch ass punk. And if he backs out, that money is gone forever. That money is gone forever. I mean, that's a money sink. Along with his sad fantasy of being the king of D&D and reclaiming his father's legacy. Justin is probably pissed at this point that everyone else has cast him out. There is no... That circle that is the TSR Army. Do you remember, I don't know, was it 20 years ago, 25 years ago? The U.S. Army commercials? An army of one. Because it was the individual, right? Well, pretty soon, TSR will be the army of one. Justin was assuming to be a wolf in the field filled with docile sheep. By the way, and that might be it. I've always, and it's an interesting observation, but I've always seen myself. There are wolves, there are sheep, and there are sheepdog. And sheepdogs protect the sheep. And they confront the wolf. Well, that has been how I saw myself in my role as a police officer, and it's certainly how I see myself in this situation. But the better analogy is a snake oil salesman who conned one village idiot at the edge of town, and now everyone is glaring daggers at him and shutting their doors against him. So Justin awoke the TSR Army again, thinking he could be Napoleon. Now that's a great statement. Napoleon. It's considered. I had a lieutenant who was very full of himself. This is when I was a rookie sergeant, and he was all beating his chest and bluster. And he was 5'5" if he was an inch tall, and he had been rilling my ass. So I made a comment to another lieutenant about the lieutenant with the Napoleon complex, not realizing he was standing right behind me. And he looked at me and I said, I'm sorry, but my observations are accurate if uncomfortable. Okay, but would my lieutenant have bought a tank to prove something? Probably. In the end, he made captain, and when I was in internal affairs, he would report to me to sign in as he was suspended with pay pending termination. Because...
Oh, that's fun.
Well, because he was somebody who abused his authority and got what he got. Again, not everybody that's small has that issue. My son is, I don't know, 5'4", if that. He doesn't have that issue, but he has confidence in himself.
Is this one
what?
Of small stature?
He's every picture I've seen him in, he's of a smaller stature than the people around him. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not calling him. I'm not saying he's 5'5". I've never stood next to him, but I don't think he'd stand next to me. I think he'd be a little nervous. In any case, so he awoke the TSR Army thinking that he could be Napoleon and just dominate everything by force of numbers and power of charisma. Again, he lost because modern players aren't impressed by some 8-time loser who, I don't know how we got to that number. I'm just quoting. It could only be 4 times. I'm just saying. Who doesn't know how to lead people, and so nobody flocked to his call to arms. He himself was kicked out of the military for lacking leadership potential. I'm just quoting. I do not know that for sure. I would certainly see how that could be a possibility, but I do not know. Again, I am quoting. He is about as worthy to lead as Starscream was in Transformers cartoons. I had to sleep on that before I remember, but I had to really think about the Transformers cartoons, and Starscream was the one that was always screaming. Probably was going, I'm gonna sue you from behind my sock puppet account. I remember that now. Or Dr. Mindbender if you're into G.I. Joe. Bitch ass punk is a fucking ass clown. So I asked Jack, could I read this? He gave permission. So I thank you all for listening. If you happen to see Horatio Jones with a green covered AD&D second edition historical source book, that is, I'm not even gonna say allegedly, that is the bitch ass punk. Putting up pictures of my wife because, and this is going to be an observation that I'm going to make, personal observation. I am not a medical professional, so don't take this beyond me observing. But Justin seems to have had an issue with Darlene, the only person that he threatened directly, obtusely, but directly by video. You may get involved in legal action, even if you don't want to, because and that was threatened my wife, threatened Tom from the Tabletop Tap Room, made comments about his wife, has made comments about the deceased children of others. And why would that be? Why would somebody who is, I don't even say allegedly, somebody who is a bitch ass punk, why would somebody who fits that definition, why would women or families scare him? Why would they threaten him? I don't know, right? I guess somebody would have to answer that question for us. Or maybe they can look at their own life and figure out the answer for that. Because, I mean, I don't know. Think about it. Think about it. Somebody is very threatened by the women in the lives of his critics. Why? Why? Because, you think you're gonna attack the soft underbelly. I would never want to make an enemy of my wife, dude. I wouldn't. I would never want to make an enemy of Tom's wife. I would never want to make the number of enemies that you are currently making. I don't understand. It's like this desire to self-destruct, and somehow that the world hating you because of you making horrible, offensive comments about the deceased children of somebody's. Why would you do that? Unless you just want to be the pariah. Now, if you can't be loved, you want to be hated. Two sides of the same coin. Not really though, sir, because you can have a coin that can be love on both sides, right? You can, but hatred, you're earning it, man, and that's sad. It's really, really sad. I don't have sympathy. I have empathy because there's my opinion. I am not a medical professional, but there are some emotional and further issues that need to be dealt with on the side of the bitch ass punk. Look inside. Maybe you'll find something. Or not. All right, folks. Listen. Rach and I will be back 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time, with Gamers Health. I wanted to get this shit off my chest because yesterday was the I don't know, whack-a-mole with 2 troll accounts popping up to troll both myself, my wife. One troll account, by the way, was quickly booted by Facebook, which is, it was a kind of shame. I was going to troll back, but it was gone way before. Oh, and Mario is back on Twitter. Apparently, I have seen a screenshot that Twitter states that the account has been in violation of rules. So that might be going bye-bye soon, too. You know, when you can't, when there are no more troll accounts, no more sock puppets to hide behind, maybe we can actually see the scared individual come to the front and not hide behind others and fake accounts. Maybe not. Folks, so limits to the world of COVID. Assuming you have common sense, and bitch ass punk has none, but assuming that you do, please, I beg of you, use your common sense. Otherwise, be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice. We'll be back again tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. I really do appreciate this, folks, and thank you for listening.